we're making a bed for winter peas inside this cat tunnel. Right in there. Alright, so we've got all the material kind of humped into the middle. That's all the old Valencia tomato vines. And then this was under the tarp, so it's nice and clean. And then the edge we just kind of folded in so that it gets sucked under the tractor. All right, this got double mowed down and back, once in each direction. What we're doing here is we're taking out a bed of tomatoes from summer and we're turning the same space into a bed for winter peas. So we're pulling the drip line out first before mowing, and also removing the black weed mat that we use to keep the pathways clean between tomato rows during the summer. Each tomato vine is on a string. So the string has to get cut at the base and removed prior to mowing and cleaning up. And set this roll out of the way, and then we have to wind up a lot of string. These are toma hooks, and you can see the vines lay on the ground once you detach them from the string. We kind of wind the string up lightly as the vine grows. And all the string has to get wound up. These are the early girls next to this row that we're taking out. We're going to leave those for a couple weeks. Corey's cutting the base, which allows the plant to flop over. Then we just have to go wind up and organize all the string. And there is a lot of string. I think just this one row fills a couple of boxes. We're gonna put a couple passes of compost on it and some bone meal. There you go. Use your little lever. All right, so after mowing, we're putting the first pass of compost on. This compost spreader holds 2 yards. It literally fits exactly in here. The tires on the spreader are actually a little bit wider than the tractor tires. Plus the mule has a cage on it that sticks up to the hoop, so you can't get that close to it. Fortunately, it's all rounded and everything slides off of it, but normally I do this with a smaller tractor. Sure beats shoveling it by hand. You can see it just spills out. It's ground driven. You do have to operate the engagement lever at the end of the row while turning around. All right, this is the second pass. When you do 2 passes, it's pretty thick. It's like 2 solid inches of compost. I have the beater disengaged right now, so it just falls on the center of the bed. But we're gonna have to walk and just slightly pull with a flat rake. Just give it a kick over just so it's a little bit more centered, because the cage on the mule will rub on the hoops if you don't stay off of it a little bit. All right, here we're putting chicken manure on the bed. That's just a 36-inch wide band. And then we'll come back with that bone meal right there. So chicken manure, bone meal, compost, all the chopped up debris from the last crop. That's the bone meal. I've made a point to make every bed on the farm fit this tractor, and in these cat tunnels that means 3 beds per tunnel. And you can see the center, the tire is basically, these have the 16 inch extensions, and then the tire is right at where it starts to roll in. That's why I don't have an ROP on this tractor, so it fits in these tunnels. And then we can do something like this where we pulled this row out, but we're leaving these tomatoes in for another couple weeks, particularly the cherry tomatoes over here. We still want all these cherry tomatoes. Alright, once again you can see how the bed maker just fits, covers both wheel tracks. Oh baby.
Growth, like, does it start as this?
Yeah, mycelium.
Shouldering like that?
And then it's called pinning, where it starts to form a little body to it.
This white?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna give it about a week or two to settle with some moisture, because this compost is kind of not that broken down. It's pretty good, but give it some time. Plus peas can rot in unbalanced soil. And then we'll sterile seed bed it by either propane flaming the bed, or we'll tarp it with a landscape fabric. All right, along with prepping that bed for snap peas in the other tunnel, we are taking out the bee netting, which is for squirrels, out of the pepper tunnel, taking out all the T-posts. We'll be mowing this, putting compost down and other nutrients, and then flipping these beds for winter production. The ground squirrels got in here right at peak season and just annihilated like all the viable peppers, and it was loaded. Like, the pepper plants were beautiful, tons of fruit, and at this point in the season, I mean, we're pulling them out right now to mow them, but look at a few of these peppers. These are the this is like a, you know, Italian roasting pepper. These are snack peppers, the little lunch box type peppers you get at Costco or Safeway or wherever. Did you get it? Did it move?
Yeah.
Dang.
Was it, or is it just?
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah! Okay, so far we have removed the trellis line, we removed the stakes, we removed the drip lines, and we removed and rolled up the squirrel netting, and now Corey is going to mow all the pepper plants down. Get in there, baby! This is the first pass. Chops them up pretty good, knocks them to the ground. This is the second pass in the opposite direction. Okay, we have to shuttle up to the top of the hill because that's where most of our compost gets delivered. Sometimes I just shuttle down an extra scoop, and then when the hopper comes back, I just dump it in. It gives it an extra half a row. She could be a little closer to the wall, but it's okay. The tiller will move it around, and we're actually going to put 2 passes on each bed right now because we have so much compost. There's like 100 yards up there in that pile right now. So there's the tunnel from the south. You can see all the little pepper stems. Chunk, 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 chunk. They've just been chopped off by the flail mower. And you can see that here, like, we haven't done anything other than mow and apply compost. And the mower shreds it. I mean, that's the beauty of a flail mower, is it really masticates the material. And then the compost obviously buries it, and that makes it look a little cleaner. And then in the pathways, the tractor tires beat it down and they break through some of the material. Like even right here, you can see that this was mowed right there, but it's cracked in here, and that's just from the pressure of the tractor tire just breaking it down. So it really just starts to, you can see that the peppers have been smashed. It really just starts to clean up as you move through the steps. So I'm putting a second layer of compost on right now because, like I said, we've got a bunch, and the more the merrier, typically, unless you have some sort of a overdose of carbon in your soil or something you need to pay attention to. But in this case, I'm putting 2 layers down, and it just takes a lot of steps. I think that's what you'll see a lot of in these videos, is just there's a lot of steps, and it's a lot of switching implements and doing one task and then doing another. Right now we're using the larger Kubota to load the compost, the smaller Kubota to pull the hopper. Sometimes I pull the compost spreader with the mule, but I like the little Kubota better because it has a tighter turning radius. So here we go. Second pass of compost gives us about 1 yard per bed. Okay, I only use this tiller as a backup, and in other words, it's not my bed maker, but it does a good job of chopping debris. And in this case, because we want to plant these beds to winter lettuce as quick as possible, we want the organic matter to be broken down as much as possible. So I'm going to run over it with this once before we run over it with the bed maker. Just found the 3rd toad in this house. I'm putting them down by the pond so that they're out of the way.